Hello everybody, a1000facescom, 1000 Faces Worldwide, and boy have I got a great interview for you today. I've got two amazing sisters that go by the name of Tanya and Christina, and they are doing amazing in the UAE. It is hot. It is
Really
boiling
hot.
It really is. As you can tell by my gear, I'm sweating. But the purpose of this is to entertain, is to educate, and to inspire you, particularly the youth. So before I go into the questions, I will let Tanya and Christina introduce themselves very quickly.
Hey everybody, my name is Christina.
And my name is Tanya.
And we're the co-founders of BlankCanvas community. BlankCanvas is basically, in a nutshell, a human-centered social enterprise that focuses on bringing people together and rebuilding community through collaborative art, through self-exploration and social goods.
And we believe that creativity is something that should be practiced and nurtured by everyone, regardless of if you're a practicing artist or not. The reason why BlankCanvas exists is to really encourage people to get in touch with their creativity, regardless of whether they're professionals or not.
So it's so important to us that you just explore your creativity rather than focus on the outcome, because we believe that the process is much more fruitful than having a beautiful outcome.
I want to get the history behind BlankCanvas. How did you start
All
what
right.
you're doing right now? How did you come about the name BlankCanvas, and why did you start it?
So basically it all started with a concept. It started as a game, actually. Tanya and I were on a road trip in France. We were going from Paris to Annecy, and we had 8 hours in the car, and we were carpooling with an elder French man who doesn't speak English, so we were trying to communicate, but we weren't able to. I mean, we know French to save our life, like a few words. So on the road, we each had our journal. So we've been journaling since we were, I think, 10, 11, like really young. So we're sitting and journaling away, and then it was literally like a split second. We kind of like said, oh, why do we have 2 pages? Why don't we share 1 page? So then we created this game where we called it Thoughtless Drawing. So the whole idea was just start, and without a vision, without having like, oh, I want to draw a tree, or I want to draw a car or a house. And the minute your mind interrupts, you pass it on to the next person. And literally, we just kept doing that. So I'd draw, and then my mind started telling me what to do. So I passed it on to Tanya, and she did the same. And we just kept going back and forth. And then we created this formless form, which was just so beautiful. And we really enjoyed it. And then we started, so along our travels, we kept doing this game with everyone we'd meet, until at the time we were living in Melbourne in a warehouse. We were working and living there. So we decided to do this game with the crew. So we're like, hey guys, come on, gather around. There's like 13 of us that night, and we introduced this game, and they loved it. They're like, what? This is amazing. So then the founder of the studio, he just like got up and he's like, you know what, we should make an event out of this. And literally that's how it started. We did the game, and they felt inspired that we can actually, share this with more people. So we decided, each one takes care of something. One person gets the local musicians, the other one gets the poets, the other one gets the food, the art supplies, and we made an entire night out of it. I'll let Tanya get into that, but the name was so random. So the night we did the activity, we just did it, and then everyone went to sleep. So we didn't really think of the name of this event, which started as an event. And then the next morning, one of our ex-housemates comes up and talks to me, and she's like, Christina, what was the name of the activity with the blank canvases that we were doing last night? I was like, because she was like, what are we going to call the event? I was like, oh my God, let's just call it blank canvas. It makes so much sense, right? And that was it. And we did the first event. It was amazing. We opened it to the entire community, and we covered all the walls of the warehouse with canvas. We had art supplies there. We invited local musicians, local poets. We had food, and we just made a night out of it. So it started as an event, literally.
So this basically started with both of you, sisters, in a car.
Yeah.
And it just exploded from there. But if you're young and you're watching, honestly, creativity is all around you. You can start anything, and you can affect your community with it. So do you have to be able to draw to do what you do?
Not at all.
Is it aimed at artists or?
I mean, we do have recently we've been focusing on more technical art, but that's just a stream of what we offer. So if people are interested in more technical art, then that is there, and that's so available around the world, right? Wherever we are. But I think what BlankCanvas is really built on, like our mission is just about helping people get started, and sometimes the hardest thing is actually our self-doubt. You know, that's actually what holds us back from creating. It's not the action itself, it's the step before it. So what we try to do is kind of break that barrier. So when we have our events, it's not really about having professional artists, it's not about producing professional artworks. It's about connecting with ourselves to be able to release our creativity in a space that feels non-judgmental. So in our events, everyone shares a canvas, and the whole idea is, don't feel confined to one space where you have to perfect this little square. You can work with everyone around you, and you can let it out, and if you feel stuck, you can speak with the person next to you. Maybe you can create something together, but regardless, you're gonna have to let it go and move on, and then try and build on someone else's artwork so that we all create a collaborative artwork together. So there's like two things happening. It's like breaking that barrier within ourselves, but then also collaborating with others to create a unified art piece.
Wow, that would suit me so well, because I can't draw to save my life. But if I know that there are people around me who also feel the way I do, that kind of helps your confidence.
For sure.
So how has this helped? I want to talk about young people, because I'm a teacher by profession, and I know that I teach early years. So when 3-year-olds come to school, they're very creative. They can take stones and leaves and bottles and what you name it and put it together and make something. And to us as adults, it looks like a pile of mess. But if you sit with that child, they will explain to you what they've done in detail as well. But I feel like creativity is lost. You know, the older we get, we tend to gravitate towards, you know, parents, and push us towards math and English and science. But art is so important. Have you been able to work with young children?
Yeah, so since we moved from Australia, so following on from the story that Christina shared, after we came here and started holding these community events, we noticed that schools and companies were really interested in having these kinds of events or workshops in their spaces, because they recognize the importance in everything that you just said, that they feel that creativity is lost. So we started holding like workshops for schools in particular, and then also companies where we do team building. So we've worked with different schools to hold like collaborative art workshops, but then we've also worked with people of determination or children of determination, where everyone's working on their own little piece together, but really encouraged to share what they're working on, because that's really what it's about as well. It's about sharing, you know, and I love what you said about the kids, like what looks like a mess, that they're able to tell you in detail what it is, and that's what it is. You know?
Exactly, it's
it
their
doesn't
perception.
really matter. I mean, it does, you know, to a degree. Maybe it matters what you create in the product. It depends on if you want to be a practicing artist, then these things matter. But aside from that, there's like a whole world of exploration within creativity, and being able to share that detail of how they put that mess together, that's storytelling.
That's the one. What's that success story that you've had with BlankCanvas?
Sorry,
There's so many.
The one thing I want to share, because you just sparked something, is for us, when we have events with younger people, you know, there is never that, we never experience that barrier between themselves in the way that we do with adults, because kids or younger people are so connected, are a little more connected with themselves than adults in that regard. You know, we're all born creative, and that's the truth. You know, we're all born creative, but it's
creators.
something that we kind of not necessarily lose along the way, but things accumulate along the way that make it harder for us to reach our creativity as we get older. So with kids, I mean, it always feels like a great success holding events with younger people, because we just feel like they get it. That's it. Like, they get it. Like, and that's why. And that's why it's really lovely to work with younger people, because it's like we can just skip the step of like talking about the mission and vision, because they're like, oh, a massive canvas, we're meant to work together to create an art piece. Perfect, that makes so much sense. But then when we have our adult events, and I'd say this is one of our success stories, and this is more of a direct interaction with Christina, so sorry I'm sharing it. But we had an older woman who came to one of our community events, and she had signed up for it. But I think it's always a little overwhelming coming to our community events, because the first thing you see is this massive stretch of canvas, and it's like a banquet table of canvas and paint. And like obviously when you get there, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna be painting that. What am I doing here? So this woman came and she's like, what am I doing here? Like, what is this? And she was just a little, like, you know, a little stressed, and everyone was just too nice. You know, everyone was like really friendly, and she's like, what's going on? So
there aren't any hidden agendas.
yeah. So I mean, it was just so nice to. I think a success story, and it's from a very individual perspective, not even from an events perspective, is just seeing this woman open up as the event passed, you know. So she came in like very kind of enclosed and really worried and concerned and skeptical, but like even halfway through the event, just seeing her not only just painting like this, but painting wide on the canvas, and walking out with not only a big smile, but really just a real sense of clarity and relaxation, and that's it. Like that's a mission accomplished for us, you know. It's just having someone walk out of our events just feeling connected, you know, connected with themselves and more comfortable with people around them, because sometimes it's even hard for us to connect with each other, because I don't know, we sometimes think we're only going through things on our own, but then in these types of events we realize, oh my god, we're actually so similar. We're all kind of striving for the same thing through a different lens.
There's two that come to my mind straight away. One was we did an event at Raha School, Raha International Private School. It was amazing. We had set up 2 huge walls of canvas, so there are vertical walls, and we had different grades throughout their breaks come and paint, and it was just so beautiful to see the 4th graders, how they painted, and then how the 5th graders came in, and then all of them all the way up to high school, and how the art was like every grade that came, everyone respected each other's artwork. So you didn't have kids that were just like covering everything. No, they respect it, and they'll find their space, or they'd add on. And we didn't even need to mention that, because we usually have to say that, like, please, out of courtesy and respect for others, don't cover their artwork, you know, build on it. And they just naturally understood that, and that, what to me was fascinating. It was so beautiful. And then the second one was we did an online art series for people of determination. It was incredible to see the engagement. So we had customized the boxes, and we split it up into 3 sessions, and we delivered it to their homes, and then we all logged in on Zoom on those 3 separate days, and we did different art techniques together, and each person of determination did it with their families. So they did it was their own collaborative, you know, art gathering in their home, and then on Zoom all the other participants with their families all joined together on Zoom. That was just honestly so beautiful. And they loved it, and then we got everyone to talk about their art, and they said what they liked and what they learned. And so it wasn't just about so of course it was also like to create, but also for them to feel a sense of ownership with what they've created, to make them feel empowered. So it was really beautiful. Those are the 2 success stories.
I get a sense of like community, you know, love, happiness, you know, when people are doing this, which is what we need in the world right now.
Yeah.
We need to come together and
do
do together. So where do you see BlankCanvas in the next 5 years? What would you like to achieve? Where would you like to take it? Where would you like to go?
So when BlankCanvas slowly started to turn into an organization, one of our most important goals was to give back to the community. So not only through the events, but also through any kind of financial any kind of finances that we receive from the projects that we implement. So so we always said, so we've launched recently our merchandise, our products line, which we're so excited about, because it's taken us a few years to get here. So we have these boxes, they're art kits essentially, and there is information and instructions in there on how to create a collaborative art piece with your family and friends at home. So so a portion of the profits that we make from these boxes fund projects, social development related projects within the region. So this is kind of a huge plan for us to start to really invest in projects in the region that really work on things that are related to our vision. So whether it's community building, whether it's creating centers where people can create art a little more freely. So not only to have the career path of becoming a professional artist, but also to have centers where people can really are encouraged to express themselves through different creative mediums.
Yeah.
So that is definitely one of our bigger plans, is to start to be able to invest in projects, specifically in our region first, and then eventually around the world.
Wow. So this started in a car. And look how it has grown. Oh my God, vision.
It grew organically, I must say. It's not like, you know, the beauty or like the unique thing of what Tanya and I do is that, you know how some businesses, like, you sit and you write down, like, I want to achieve this, I want this ROI, I have these KPIs, this is my target. We didn't do that. For us, it's more like we grew organically. We kind of, because we're so community focused, is that we wanted to, it's so important to us to get the feedback from the community, see how we can keep growing, to keep being there and serving them and seeing how we can enhance the experiences. So it really grew so organically. You know, when we started in Australia, we'd never imagined we were going to be where we are now.
And it's a really important point what you said. It's about learning what the community needs and offering accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So we don't, and that's why BlankCanvas really evolved actually from Australia. Australia was a completely different kind of format and dynamic, and when we came here, we took a bit of time to understand what people needed, and then we responded to that. And that's it's always going to be that way wherever we move. So wherever we take BlankCanvas with us, we need to kind of step back and see what it is that people need, because that's the most sustainable kind of offering that we can give, right?
Because that's why we exist. You know, we're here to support and be there for others. So we need to also make sure that we're learning. We're learning, and we're attending. We are also seeing the experiences from their perspective, so we can better create experiences for them.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited for you guys. I really am. And I wish you all the best. But before we go, I want you to speak to I'm really passionate about this because I love what you do.
Thank you.
I want you to look into the lens and speak to teachers and speak to educators everywhere, parents, because art is not something that is really pushed and encouraged, you know, especially as kids grow older, but it's so important. It really is important. What message can you give to teachers out there who don't really, and you're talking to me, I may have lost it and I don't know, you know. What message do you have for us as educators when it comes to art?
Okay,
First thing that comes to my head is, please don't teach kids what beauty is. Teach them to see beauty in the way that they see it, and really encourage them to explore that. So especially as teachers, oh, bless you all, like, you have such an amazing role, and we just want to share that when it comes to art, especially with kids, it's really important for us as facilitators to help them break that barrier within themselves and to explore and create a mess, even if that's what they want. But if they're able to articulate what they're doing, please celebrate it. Please just congratulate them for it and try to see beauty through their eyes, because they're going to see the beauty through your eyes as well. So,
that's so beautiful. I really don't know how I'm going to top that, but I would say just one thing is that allow everyone to explore their uniqueness. We're not, yes, we are all one human family, but the reason why we all exist is we all have something special to share with each other. And this is how we keep progressing as a human civilization, is awakening to our uniqueness. So with art, it's the most unique you can be, because it's you, it's completely you, it's not tainted by anything else. So we need to give our kids this outlet to just explore their unique self. So thank you.
And we're all unique. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Tommy.
Thank you. So if people want to get in contact with you, or they want to find out more about BlankCanvas, they want to buy your merchandise. You know, let's help them out. They're doing a fantastic thing here in the UAE. We've got to support. So if they want to support you, how can they?
We're on Facebook and Instagram, and it's at blankcanvas.community. We also have a LinkedIn account, and we have a website, www.blankcanvascommunity.com.
And our goods page is blankcanvas.goods on Facebook and Instagram. So check out our merchandise, and we'll have more coming by the end of the year. So yeah.
I'm so excited for you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
And don't forget to log on to www.a1000facesProject.com for more inspiring people like BlankCanvas, and also subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for joining us. And reach out to these guys as well. They are amazing. They're lovely, like you can see. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.